My people have journeyed great distances beneath a scorching sun just to obtain a single drop of water. Now, we bore deep into the ground to restore our pride and permanently quench our thirst. Visualize a region where the sun blazes without mercy, scorching the earth until it fractures like broken glass. This describes northern Burkina Faso in July 2025. Rivers that once teemed with life have become barren. Dusty channels in places like Seno and Yaga. The quest for water is an everyday struggle. Young children, some only 6 or 7 years old, walk tremendous distances over 5 miles just to collect one jerry can of water. This water is frequently contaminated and unfit for consumption in Congo. The shortage is so intense that a single liter of water may cost more than an entire meal, a tragic situation for households already battling hunger. The dire lack of water isn't a new issue for Burkina Faso. The nation has long endured severe droughts. Wells that used to provide essential water supplies now run dry at alarming rates, leaving residents desperate. Rainfall, crucial to survival in this parched land, is rare, and even when it comes, it often fails to sufficiently replenish exhausted water reserves. The global community has extended help and pledged support many times, yet much of that aid hasn't led to lasting change. The water emergency in Burkina Faso is not a distant threat, it is the harsh daily experience for millions. They face a constant struggle for enough water to drink, prepare food, or cultivate crops. The country's battle with water scarcity stretches back decades. As a landlocked nation, it lacks access to the sea and has few significant rivers to rely on for steady water flow. Its very landscape adds to the difficulty. Making matters worse, the climate has deteriorated sharply. In the last 20 years, the country's rainfall has dropped by over 40%. This dramatic decline has wreaked havoc. In areas like Kaya Goram and Tapua, crops often failed because of insufficient water, driving families deeper into misery and hopelessness. Mothers are left heartbroken, watching dreams for their children vanish into the same dry soil that destroys their harvests. The presence of armed factions only intensifies this grim situation. These groups take advantage of the water crisis, clashing over the dwindling sources. They launch assaults on villages, steal pond water, and seize boreholes, deep wells as if they were capturing land. This escalates the humanitarian emergency and destabilizes entire regions. One chilling example happened in May 2025, when 7 villages were fully deserted due to such violent clashes over water. The United Nations refers to this as eco-fragility, a term describing how environmental destruction can lead to conflict. But to the people of Burkina Faso, it's a deeply personal and immediate peril. They call it survival theft, a harsh fight for the most essential element of life. Amid this immense crisis, a new leader has arisen with a promise of hope. President Ibrahim Traoré. He refuses to surrender in the face of overwhelming obstacles. Rather than rely on rain that may never fall or on foreign aid that has repeatedly fallen short, he turns to the soil itself. In June 2025, President Traoré initiated what may be the most daring and significant water initiative in the nation's history. His proposal is bold: to drill wells deeper than ever before, some extending a staggering 1,000 meters, more than half a mile underground. These are not simple water wells. They are a courageous stand against drought, poverty, and dependency on outside help. President Traoré's goal is firm and unmistakable. Water is far more than just a basic requirement. It is a basic human right, and he is determined to deliver this right to his people regardless of the challenges or expense. This effort stands as proof of his resolve to uplift his country and safeguard its future. Over the years, the global community tried to support Burkina Faso in tackling its water crisis. From 2010 to 2022, more than $180 million was allocated to various water assistance programs. Foreign experts arrived, armed with complex maps, high-tech drones, and lofty promises. They installed shallow wells that dried up swiftly, erected small dams that often failed, and set up plastic tanks that were easily broken or drained. But what was left by 2025? The answer was painfully clear. Collapsed dams in Goram, empty boreholes in Udalan, and rusted, broken pumps in Bulsa. The heartbreaking image of women digging manually for water in extreme 45-degree heat reflected the failure of these interventions. What went wrong with all the good intentions? The root issue was that many solutions were crafted far away from the actual communities, by people disconnected from the realities of village life. These foreign aid plans frequently ignored the specific needs of the terrain and, most critically, dismissed the deep local understanding held by the residents themselves. The problem wasn't mainly a lack of engineering expertise. At its heart, it was a political issue of failure to involve and truly understand those who needed help. Then, in June 2025, something remarkable began in Kaya, northern Burkina Faso. The earth itself began to shake, not from violence, but from the tremors of hope. Giant drilling machines, symbols of a new beginning, tore through the hard, dry Sahel soil. President Traoré was there, watching closely, his boots covered in the region's fine red dust. These machines were undertaking a mission never before attempted, drilling deeper than anyone had dared before. In some locations, like Jibo wells reached incredible depths of 988 meters, almost a full kilometer underground. Their target, ancient aquifers, immense underground lakes formed thousands of years ago and hidden deep beneath the surface. Strikingly, no international group had ever pursued such deep drilling, mainly because it wasn't seen as financially worthwhile. But in Burkina Faso, where 70% of villages rely entirely on erratic rainfall or wells that constantly dry up, inaction meant continued pain and, eventually, death. This bold new strategy wasn't born from profit-driven motives. It was fueled by an urgent will to survive and a fierce belief in national self-reliance. These new wells go far beyond being just water sources. They are cornerstones for a hopeful future. Each well functions as a complete system built for endurance. Solar panels provide clean energy to power the pumps, eliminating reliance on costly and unstable fossil fuels. Fences are placed around each site to protect the equipment. More importantly, irrigation networks are built alongside the wells, making it possible to water crops efficiently and bring life to previously barren land. With dependable access to water, entire communities are seeing sweeping change. There is now ample water not only for drinking but also for agriculture and even for producing building materials like bricks. Schools can grow gardens, supplying fresh food for students and teaching valuable farming skills. Local markets flourish, with people no longer forced to spend hours daily walking long distances to fetch water. These wells are setting the stage for improved living standards. They directly address poverty, reduce forced migration due to water scarcity, and let children stay in school and pursue learning. This effort isn't just an act of goodwill, it is a vital act of justice, allowing people to rebuild their lives and flourish independently. President Traoré's water initiative reaches far beyond technical design. It marks a powerful political message and a bold change in direction. For many years, foreign aid programs often offered shallow wells and arguably shallow commitments. Development strategies were commonly created in faraway, comfortable cities like Brussels, not in the very communities in Burkina Faso that urgently needed help. Critically, local people were seldom asked about their real needs, nor were they given a meaningful role in the projects being introduced. President Traoré is completely reshaping this approach. These wells are not made by international contractors. They are built by the capable hands of Burkinabe citizens, ensuring both local involvement and employment. The goals of this initiative are focused entirely on sustainable, long-term outcomes, not on temporary fixes. And perhaps most importantly, the pride that comes from these accomplishments belongs fully to the people of Burkina Faso. This marks a new and revolutionary style of leadership, one that truly respects the wisdom of the land and, even more importantly, the voices and needs of its citizens. It's a strong declaration of national independence and confidence. The enormous task of digging wells to such extreme depths comes with serious difficulties. The heavy-duty machines face extremely tough granite rock layers, often under intense pressure and heat far below the surface. In Drought, the drilling tools spark and thunder like storms, proof of the tremendous forces involved. The drilling crews use modern rotary machinery with smart sensors that help guide them through the complex underground formations. Impressively, the drill bits vital for slicing through rock that dates back 50 million years are now being produced right inside Burkina Faso. Teams labor around the clock with security forces on site to protect them because the work carries significant danger. In April 2025, saboteurs tried to disrupt drilling near Arbinda, but their attempt failed. The machines pressed on, breaking through the earth without stopping. This entire mission is seen as both a struggle against nature and a stand against those who would block progress, and the workers are hailed as true heroes in this essential campaign. President Traoré's detailed blueprint for water access doesn't end with the record-breaking deep wells. It is a carefully crafted, layered strategy that meets water needs at every scale. Smaller communities, for example, are receiving simpler, traditional wells. Schools are being equipped with systems to collect and store rainwater for many uses. Farms are using small-scale irrigation that channels runoff water efficiently, allowing crops to grow with minimal waste. Every drop is considered saved and used wisely and purposefully. Burkina Faso is, in essence, constructing its first national water protection network, a planned, strategic system designed to provide water security across the country. What's even more inspiring is that this massive effort is happening entirely without foreign companies or outside control. It delivers a strong message to the world. High-end technology alone is not enough. Real success is built on fearless determination, resilience, and independence. Burkina Faso is naturally rich in sunlight, receiving more than 3,200 hours of sunshine every year. President Traoré's engineering team saw this resource and brilliantly used it in their water system. Solar panels are being set up beside the new wells to power the water pumps. This removes the need for costly, polluting diesel, unreliable electric grids, or fragile wires that could be stolen or damaged. By May 2025, a remarkable 164 solar-powered pumps had been installed in the Centre Nord and Sahel areas, two of the regions hit hardest by water shortages. Together, these pumps now deliver over 12,000 cubic meters of water each day, a stable flow of clean, dependable, and cost-free water. Villagers no longer have to suffer while waiting for water trucks to arrive. Farmers are now able to water their fields throughout the year, resulting in greater food output. Medical clinics now enjoy a continuous flow of clean water, essential for hygiene and saving lives. The sun, once viewed as a symbol of the area's harsh conditions, has now become a strong partner in Burkina Faso's push toward water self-sufficiency. The effects of these new wells on the everyday lives of Burkinabe citizens are deep and life-changing. In Yako, an especially moving shift has taken place. Girls who used to spend hours each day walking far distances for water can now go to school. In an impressive figure, girls' school attendance in Yako rose by 22% within only 3 months, clearly showing the instant and real impact of water access on education. In Kunguzi, farmers are producing enough tomatoes to feed their families and sell the extra in the capital. Ouagadougou, helping the local economy. Clean water access has also brought a clear reduction in waterborne diseases that had previously caused serious harm and suffering. These developments go beyond basic survival. They're about helping communities to truly flourish. Villages are building toward a brighter tomorrow, founding new schools, growing local markets, and opening job prospects. The water has changed everything, but more importantly, the people themselves, uplifted by this vital resource, have transformed as well. They are now more optimistic, more independent, and stronger. In June 2025, near Dori, a powerful event occurred. A drill hit water at a depth of 800 meters. Villagers came together, their faces filled with suspense and amazement, to witness the moment. This success was more than a technical victory. It was a powerful national realization. Burkina Faso, a country long seen as struggling, was showing both the world and itself that it has the talent and drive to beat even the toughest challenges. So far, over 312 ultra-deep wells, ranging from 350 meters to an incredible 1,000 meters in depth, have been completed nationwide. Each well stands as a strong message. We will not rely on others to survive. We will build our own future. Neighboring Sahel countries like Mali, Niger, and Chad are watching Burkina Faso's incredible transformation closely. They're sending delegations to learn from this new model, eager to apply its lessons. What they're seeing is more than just water, it's a deep shift in thinking. A new vision for development, independence, and national pride. The arrival of water brings far more than hydration. It sparks waves of economic growth and hope. In test areas, staple crops like millet and sorghum are producing 3 times their usual yield, boosting both food supply and household income. Cotton fields, once dry and useless, are thriving again. And there are bold plans to build local textile factories, adding jobs and value to agriculture. Community groups are forming, making products like juice, flour, and soap, local business and broadening the economy. Looking forward, Burkina Faso aims to launch a solar-powered data center in Bobo Dioulasso next year, showing its serious focus on tech progress. It's becoming clear that water unlocks other essentials: electricity, jobs, innovation, and endless opportunity. Even the environment is beginning to recover, with reduced pressure on natural rivers and lakes. Fish are returning, and birds are reappearing in their old nesting grounds. This improvement isn't by chance, it's the result of careful planning and smart execution, proving the deep connection between clean water, economic strength, and environmental renewal. Yet, despite all these gains, the journey remains dangerous. Armed groups still pose real risks, especially in the eastern parts of the country. They've tried to damage wells and pump lifelines that represent progress and hope. But the people are not standing by helplessly. They are rising up, actively defending their communities and future. They guard their water sources with intense resolve, treating them as their most treasured assets, and truly they are. Young villagers are now being trained and employed by the government to protect the solar-powered stations, showing a deep sense of responsibility and personal investment. This is not simply a struggle for water, it is a fight for pride and rightful ownership. Burkina Faso is sending a bold signal to the world. Even in the face of constant violence and punishing droughts, steadfast determination can bring victory. It stands as proof of the strength of a people who will not give up their future. The extraordinary progress in Burkina Faso is fast becoming a shining example for neighboring nations across the Sahel and beyond. Across Africa, it is no miracle, it is a repeatable formula that combines smart local design, sustainable solar energy, and a fierce will to persevere. These ultra-deep wells are more than just construction projects. They are powerful symbols of national freedom and independence. They show clearly that real solutions do not always have to come from outside. Sometimes, the most lasting answers come from digging deep, not only into the earth but into the inner strength and creativity of a nation's own citizens. Other African nations are now watching with growing interest and asking an important question. If Burkina Faso, facing so many obstacles, can make such a dramatic leap forward, why can't we do the same? In the end, this entire mission goes far beyond just delivering water. It is deeply about restoring human dignity, in Bolsa villages, erupted in cheers as the new pumps sent water gushing up, a moment of real joy and deep relief. In Yako, children's laughter rang out as they drank freely from clean taps, a simple act that once seemed impossible. These wells are far more than metal pipes sunk into dry land. They are living proof that Burkina Faso can overcome its hardships and carve out a better tomorrow. President Traoré's bold initiative aligns closely with global goals such as the United Nations 2030 targets for universal clean water and sanitation. But his drive goes beyond checking international boxes. He is helping to redefine what genuine development looks like when it is designed, led, and owned by Africans for African communities. It is a bold declaration of independence and empowerment. The unfolding story of Burkina Faso's wells is, at its core, a story of belief. It is about a country that bravely chose not to sit and wait for rain that may never fall or for foreign help that might never arrive. It's the story of a daring, the leader who decided to dig deeper than anyone had ever dared, showing tremendous courage and hope. And it is the story of communities who now stand guard over their vital water sources, protecting their shared future. Today, the question is no longer about how deep a pipe can go or the fine print of a development plan. It is about the incredible change that happens when a nation believes in its own hidden strength waiting right beneath its soil, ready to be tapped. If Burkina Faso can rise so powerfully from drought and unrest, then what prevents the rest of the world from discovering its own deep reserves of hope and success? This powerful story is not meant only for Burkina Faso. It is a message for everyone, everywhere. If something in this story touches you, if it moves your heart, then share it. Speak about the extraordinary changes happening in Burkina Faso, and above all, ask yourself a personal, honest question in your own life or in the challenges you face. Where would you choose to drill for water, for dignity, for hope? In a world where water means life, Burkina Faso is showing us clearly and powerfully that the deepest and richest wells aren't just buried in the ground. They live within the unbreakable spirit and courage of people who never stop believing.